Secret Service agent Alan Burke wakes up in an unfamiliar forest and has trouble remembering his name. He finds a bar where almost immediately the guy loses consciousness. The last thing Ethan remembers is the accident he got into while searching for the two missing agents, Hewson and Evans. Theresa tries to call her husband, but his phone is turned off. Her husband's supervisor informs her of the accident. Ethan leaves the hospital and heads to a cafe where he meets Beverly Brown. He tries unsuccessfully to reach his wife and management, leaving a message asking them to call him back. Beverly gives Ethan his address in case he needs help. A strange phrase about crickets is printed on the back. The guy goes to the address given by Beverly and finds Agent Evans's body in an abandoned house. Ethan goes to the local sheriff, Arnold Pope. The lawman listens to him very skeptically, as he has no identification. Nevertheless, the sheriff promises to deal with the body he found. Ethan returns to the cafe, but is told that Beverly has never worked here. At the man's indignation, the bartender knocks him out and tells someone that he's totally screwed up. The agent wakes up in the same hospital, this time already tied up. Dr. Jenkins assures him that Ethan is hallucinating. The man is sedated with an injection and Pam takes him to the operating room. Suddenly, Beverly comes to the rescue. They run to the exit, but the doors are locked. The agent sets a trap for Pam and she falls for it. Beverly tells the guy that they want to drive him crazy. She was working as a programmer and came to town to fix Y2K problem. She was hit by a motorcycle, after which the woman was assured that she had memory loss. All this happened on the 21st of October, 1999. The agent can't believe it. It's now 2014. Now, Beverly goes into a stupor. She's only been in town for 1 year. Ethan observes people at the picnic and recognizes his ex, Kate, whom he decides to follow. Kate reports that they're being followed. She's been living in the city for 12 years, though Ethan is sure that just 5 weeks ago they were together in Seattle. The woman asks him to leave because he's putting her family at risk. After stealing a car, Ethan rushes out of town, but enters from the other side of town. After passing through the woods, Ethan runs into a live fence. This is where the sheriff finds him and tells him it's impossible to get out of town. The guy tries to prove he's a government agent, but the sheriff doesn't believe it. There is no badge or credentials. He calls the Secret Service, but no one knows any Burke. A guy passing by reminds him of rule number 1, don't try to run. Ethan goes back to the house where Evans's body lies and finds the notebook. He has no time to retrieve it. The sheriff urges him to not interfere with the professional's work. Ethan tries to call Adam and catches the imaginary secretary lying, after which he discovers that the money in town is counterfeit. After finding out where the ex works, Ethan approaches her and Kate explains to him the rules of the town. No running, no discussing past lives, and you must always pick up the phone when it rings. Ethan rushes to Evans's widow, who claims her husband shot himself right in front of her. The sheriff threatens Ethan with arrest if he doesn't stop poking around, but he still goes to the morgue and searches Evans's clothes and finds a map. In the corridor, he sees a gurney with his wife and son lying on it. The guy chases after them and finds no one. Beverly explains that the map is an escape plan, but first she has to remove the microchip sewn under the skin. The girl tells him that it was the sheriff who eliminated Evans when he found out he was going to escape. Ethan notices that the cameras only respond to the movement of the chip. The couple meets Kate and her husband, and they invite them over for dinner. Ethan examines the map and sees a note about the hidden backpack. He leaves his chip in bed and goes to the location. Beverly doesn't want to go to Kate's house for dinner, but Ethan convinces her to agree so as not to arouse suspicion. During dinner, Beverly blurts out that she has a daughter. Panicking, the woman leaves. Ethan tries to smooth things over and cites an upset stomach, but as soon as they go outside, people start following the couple. Beverly asks the agent to find her daughter if she dies. The fugitives split up. Ethan tries to lead the pursuers away, but Beverly's caught and the sheriff executes her downtown. The sheriff gives a speech about the rules of the town and the residents support him. Ethan is hiding at Kate's house. When she returns from the execution, she gives the boy the microchip he left before he escaped. Ethan finds Beverly's body in the same house where he found Evans and vows to find her daughter. Theresa and Ben follow Ethan's trail to make sense of the man's disappearance. He goes to the Beverly house in the meantime, where he's spotted but not given away by the local realtor. Teresa goes to the Secret Service office and on the sly finds out the address of the gas station where her husband last paid at, which is immediately reported to Adam. Teresa learns that her husband was on his way to Wayward Pines. On the way, they're stopped by Sheriff Pope. He tricks them into opening the hood and breaks the car. Ethan hides inside a grocery van and arrives at a certain transition point where he discovers his wife's wrecked car. There, he's found by the sheriff, who knocks the agent out. Waking up in the hospital to a call, the guy learns that his family has been discharged. The nurse advises the man to hurry to the Beverly house, for it is now the home of the Burke family. Ethan is happy to see his wife and son. The realtor greets the new landlord and allegorically warns of constant surveillance. The sheriff threatens Ethan's family by reminding them of the rules. The agent promises to kill Pope if he hurts his family. A phone call cuts short the altercation. Teresa finds a cop in the kitchen trying to intimidate a woman. Kate tells how she met Evans 2 years ago. Ethan is perplexed. It's been 5 weeks since they last met, and Kate claims to have lived in Wayward Pines for 12 years. Ben tells his mother about Kate, and she and her son try to leave town together. The sheriff catches up with them, but Ethan shows up and a fight breaks out. When the sheriff raises his gun, Ben hits the cop with his own car. Before he dies, the sheriff tries to warn Ethan, but he pulls the trigger. Ethan opens the gate, but suddenly some creatures come inside and drag the sheriff's body away. Ethan turns the car around and drives to Wayward Pines. Teresa is horrified. They won't be able to cover up the cop's murder. The agent tells his wife everything, urging her to pretend everything is okay. Ben receives an invitation to the Wayward Pines Academy. In the morning, Ethan learns that he himself has been appointed the new sheriff. The mayor, Fisher, congratulates him on his appointment. Teresa takes her son to the academy, where Mrs. Fisher meets them. She tells them about the school and takes the boy inside. Ethan finds the residents' personal files. Peter, a realtor who has defaced public property with a provocative drawing, is brought into the office. Ethan promises there will be no more payback in town, but Pam disagrees. Mrs. Fisher asks Ben questions about where he lives. The boy names Seattle, and for the first time wonders why he believes his father unconditionally. Teresa reads the inscription Peter made. In a time of universal lies, to tell the truth is extremism, and goes to Kate's store. She warns her about the need for order. Ben is spoken to by Amy. She offers to walk the guy out, and along the way, she finds out about his past. Teresa catches up with them and takes her son away. Ethan shows Peter his file and he talks about his past. He hurts his leg, trying to get out of town. Pam warns the sheriff that Peter must be punished. Ethan promises Peter that nothing will happen to him. A man tells him that in 2001, he flew to a conference in Los Angeles where he met a brunette named Denise. They had drinks and went up to the room, and in the morning, he found an aging Pam next to him. Mrs. Fisher again asks questions about Ben's whereabouts, and the guy has trouble answering, much to the woman's delight. She gives the boy a guitar and congratulates him on becoming his own. In the evening, the Burke couple meet with the Fisher family and discuss Ethan's appointment as sheriff. Fisher tells them that the town emphasizes the development of children's brains, which the school helps a lot. Pam offers to drink to the sheriff, and he promises to punish the town's true criminals. On the way home, they meet Dr. Jenkins, who shows them the pine trees he planted. Ethan doesn't want to execute Peter for a common inscription. The doctor sympathizes with him. Ethan takes Peter out of the cell. He intends to hide him, and the man asks to be taken to the wall. Teresa receives an invitation to take a position as a realtor. Peter says that there is only one way to get out of here. Ethan must gain the trust of the townspeople and push him down. Ethan refuses, but Peter throws himself on the electrical wires. Pam knows that Peter has done everything on his own, and Ethan offers to take her place as sheriff. Amy kisses Ben and distracts him from his questions about the other side of the wall, while his father climbs the rocks of the mountains surrounding the town.